Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to show you how to set up views and sheets for multiple drawing sets in the same Revit model at the same time. This is something that we're going to run into once we get through contract drawings. When we start our local and state permit drawings, we want both of those drawing sets to be created from the same model, but we don't want the view callouts from one sheet set to show up on the other sheet set. So first thing that we need to do is under our Manage tab, go here into Project Parameters, and I have a parameter that I've created called View Category. And if I go into the View Category parameter, I made it of type text, and you can see I have it applied to both sheets and views. So if you don't have that in your project, set that up. It's pretty easy. Hit OK. So now you can see in my 3D view, which I'm in right now, it has this variable here, view category, and this is set to working. So whatever the parameter value is, right now I have my project browser set up to organize by that view category value. The way that you set the browser organization up, is if you go into View, User Interface down here under Browser Organization. So you can see I have browser organization for both views and sheets, and right now it says view category / family. You can see it's the same thing that's up there, so you know which browser organization you're using. You can switch back and forth between these to organize your project browser however you want. The way that this one's set up is it organizes first by view category, that variable that we set, and then by family. So the view family, you can see under working it has floor plans and 3D views, and then sorted finally by the view name. So it'll sort alphabetically under there. So it gives you a lot of control in terms of setting up your project browser how you want. The sheets are really similar, set by view category, then sheet number, and I'm actually only using one character from the sheet number, so it'll group all of the A's together, all the E's together, all the P's together, and then sheet number at the bottom. So you can see if I expand, I have local PSA, which is my view category variable, and then it has A and then AS100. So that's how you use the variables to organize your project browser. If you go onto the sheet, you can see down here I have that view category variable as well. The other thing that I have set up in the model, and I think I've already covered this with you guys, but we have two different work sets set up. So if you go under the Collaborate tab, under Work Sets, we have a factory built and a site built work set, and then we have a shared levels and grids. We really care mostly about the factory and site built work sets. And the reason that we want to use these is for the local permitting and PSA set, we really care about the site built elements, and for the state set, we care about the factory built elements. So if we have our modeled elements, like if I select this deck and scroll down, you can see under work set it's on site built, and you can use this to switch it back and forth if you want. And similarly, I have my wall set on factory built. So if I go into this floor plan, you can see I have two sections made and I have two elevations made. So one of these is a section for the state sheet set, and one of these is a section for the local sheet set. Normally you would have both sections for both, but just for illustration purposes, I'm only making one of each. And the same thing with the elevations. You have AS100 and A100. The reason why the sheet numbers are different is that Revit will not let you have the same sheet, two sheets with the same sheet number on it. It also will not let you have same views with the same view name. So you can see under state, I have first floor plan state, and under local PSA, I have first floor plan local PSA. We might be able to come up with a better naming scheme, but those are sort of the rules that Revit operates by. You can't have two views with the same name, and you can't have two sheets with the same sheet number. So now that we have all of our views and our model elements with the proper variable parameters set and everything is on the right work set, we want to filter the views so that only the views and elements show up that we want to show up on our particular drawings. So If I go into my local PSA floor plan, you can see one of my sections and one of my elevations went away. This is the one thing that doesn't go away through using the view filtering. So until I figure out how to make that work, these little circles which represent the centers of the elevations, we're still going to have to hide these manually. Hopefully I'll figure out some way to work around that so that I can do the view filtering with these, but for right now it's still a manual process. So you select it, do hide in view, and you hide by element. Everything else in here is using a view filter to hide those elements, and I'm also using a view filter to override the way that the factory built portions display. So you can see the site built element is full color for the lines, and if I zoom in on the factory built element, it's grayscale for the lines. So the way that you set that up, if you go into the View tab and go under Visibility Graphics, you're going to be using these last two tabs, the Filter and the Work Sets tab. So under Filter, you can see I have 4 filters that I've created, and I'm just going to do Edit to show you what those, how those are set up. So I have state callouts, local PSA callouts, site built, and factory built. So let's look at the site and factory built first. It's pretty simple because we have all of our model elements set up on work sets. You just say check all, which means you're selecting all of the family categories, and then set your filter rules so that work set equals site built. And so what this filter does is basically selects all of the elements in the categories that you have selected here, and I have all of my categories selected, that exist on this work set. So that's going to collect everything that's on the site built work set. This is going to collect everything that's on the factory built work set. The state and local PSA callouts work a little bit differently. So I'm not selecting all of the categories. I'm only selecting a handful. So I'm going to hide the unchecked ones. So you can see I'm selecting callouts, elevations, and sections. And then here's our view category variable again, equals state, and for the local PSA equals local PSA. So again, these filters are just selecting the elements. After you have the filters which select the elements, this is where you tell it what to do with them. So here I'm in the first floor plan for the local PSA. I don't want to see the view callouts for the state views, so I just turn the visibility off by unchecking that box. I do want to show the local PSA callouts. I want to show the site built work, and then I want to show the factory built work, but I want it to be half-toned so that it's grayed out a little bit. That's how you get this to gray out without having to select everything individually and do it that way. So this is really nice if you're good about organizing onto work sets. All you have to do is check this one button, and then everything is half-toned. And you can see if I go into the state floor plan, it's exactly the opposite. So I've got the deck is halftone, and all of the factory built stuff is full weight and color. And now I've got the opposite view callouts. Again, I had to manually hide that that last little circle. That wasn't automatically taken care of with the filter, but that's the one thing. And you can see in the visibility graphics, I'm using the same filters, I just have them set a little bit differently. So now I have the local PSA callouts turned off, I have the site build on, and that's half-toned. Once you have those filters and all of your visibility settings set up for one view, you can take that and create a view template and then apply that view template to other views, so you don't have to go through and set all of those settings for each view individually. You can save those settings. And the way that you do that is under the View tab again, underneath View Templates, you can say Create Template from Current View. It'll ask you to type a name, and you hit Name, and it'll bring you into your View Templates dialog box. So here's the name that I just created, which I don't actually need because I've already created the local PSA and the state view templates from those views. Inside your View Templates window, you can choose which of the settings in that view you want to save into the view template. So you don't have to save all of these. You don't have to save the view scale. Any one of these that you don't want to include, you can just turn off. So, turn off a couple of those. Make sure that your visibility graphics overrides filters is turned on, however, because that's where we saved all of these filtering settings. The one other thing which is in here, which is really nice, is that we have the view category. So you can actually set the view category inside of your view template and apply it to views, and it'll change the variable. It'll change where it's organized in the browser. It'll change which views it shows up in. So the way that you apply that view filter to another view, go into the view. So I'm in the state elevation. You just say apply template properties to current view, and then I'm going to select state and hit OK. And all of my properties were already applied, but if they hadn't been applied, it would have changed everything. You can see I can still go into my visibility graphics. Oh, actually, I lied to you. This is the other way that you can set your view template. So you can go and say apply template properties to current view, and if you do it that way and you go into your visibility graphics, it'll still let you modify things. So you can go in here and change the way that it's filtering things if you want to. The other way that you can apply view templates to a view is underneath the properties window where it says view template. Click on where it says none, and then select the view template you want and hit OK. And now you can see, sort of like it did initially, all of these things are grayed out. If I apply the view template that way, the only way that I can change this is by going into view templates and saying manage view template and changing it in here. Anything you change in here will automatically apply to any of the views that you have this view template selected in here. So now if I go to my sheets, go to my local PSA sheet, here are my 3 drawings for the local PSA set with the appropriate views and callouts on them, and the appropriate view filtering so that the deck is shows up full, and then the rest of it only shows up halftone. And then you can see it's the opposite for the state set. The one last thing that we're probably going to want to do for these things when you make a cover sheet is you're going to want to make a sheet list for each one of these. And the way that you do that is if you go into views, under schedules, sheet list is a particular type of schedule. And so it brings up all of your possible sheet variables. So I want to make sure that my view category gets added. Let's do sheet number and sheet name. Hit OK. So you can see it has both my state and my local sheets under the view category. Actually, I'm going to change that. I'll have the sheet number first, and I'll have my view category last. So yeah, A100, AS100 for this. So if I only want to show one or another, I just have to set up a filter for my schedule. This is really similar to the way that we were filtering before. So you can use any of the variables that you have inside your schedule. I'm going to use view category equals local PSA. And I hit OK, and now only my local PSA sheets show up. So you create one sheet list for your local PSA drawings and then one sheet list for your state drawings and use that filter. And then you can drag that onto your cover sheet for each one of the drawings. So I hope this video has been helpful for you. We covered a lot of different things. There's a lot more that we could go into with view templates. I think those are really powerful. And if we set up some standard view templates for our drawing sets that everybody can apply when they make new projects, we won't have to set those up on a per project basis. So let me know if you have any questions about this. And good luck with all your projects.